You're not lazy. You're not broken. And you definitely don't have a willpower problem. What if I told you that everything you've been told about motivation, every self-help book, every morning routine, video, every just push through it speech, has been setting you up to fail from the very beginning? Here's the truth that nobody wants to say out loud. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings come and go. You can't build a life on something that disappears the moment you're tired, stressed, or had a bad day. The people who are actually getting things done, the ones building businesses, writing books, staying consistent at the gym, they're not more motivated than you. They've just stopped relying on motivation altogether. Welcome to BrainDecoded, where we break down the science of how your mind actually works, so you can stop fighting yourself and start winning. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button right now, because this channel will literally change the way you think. And if you've been here before, smash that like button. It helps more people find this content who desperately need to hear it. Now let's get into this, because what I'm about to share with you is going to completely shift the way you see yourself and your potential. Think about the last time you felt truly motivated. Maybe it was a Sunday night. You had just watched an inspirational video, or read something powerful, or had a deep conversation that fired you up. You made a list. You planned everything out. You told yourself, this time is different. This time I'm really going to do it. And then Monday came, Tuesday came, and somewhere between the alarm clock and the routine of daily life, that fire hoost fizzled out. Sound familiar? That's not a character flaw. That's just biology. Your brain is not designed to stay motivated. It's designed to conserve energy, seek comfort, and avoid uncertainty. Motivation feels amazing in the moment because it's driven by dopamine, that feel-good chemical that surges when you imagine a better future. But dopamine drops. It always drops. And when it does, the couch wins every single time. So what do the high performers know that you don't? They know that systems beat motivation every time. Not sometimes. Every single time. A system is not a goal. A goal is a destination. I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to write a book. I want to build a business. A system is the daily process that gets you there, whether you feel like it or not. When you have a system, you don't need to feel ready. You don't need to feel inspired. You just follow the process, and the results take care of themselves. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, put it this way: you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Read that again. You fall to the level of your systems, which means if your system is weak, it doesn't matter how big your dreams are. Dreams without systems are just daydreams with better lighting. Here's where it gets really interesting, and this is the part that most people completely miss. The reason your motivation keeps failing isn't because you're not trying hard enough. It's because you're asking your brain to make too many decisions. Every single day, your brain makes thousands of decisions, and every decision, no matter how small, uses mental energy. Scientists call this decision fatigue. By the time evening rolls around, your brain is exhausted, and exhausted brains always choose the easiest option. That's why you meant to go to the gym but ended up on the couch scrolling through your phone. That's why you planned to eat healthy but ordered takeout instead. Your brain wasn't weak. It was just tired of deciding. Systems eliminate decisions. When something becomes a system, a habit, a routine, a non-negotiable part of your day, your brain stops treating it as a choice. It becomes automatic. It becomes effortless. And effortless is what sustainable looks like. Let me give you a real example. Two people want to get fit. Person A relies on motivation. They wake up every morning and ask themselves, do I feel like working out today? Some days, the answer is yes. Most days, the answer is no. Over 3 months, they maybe work out 12 times. Person B builds a system. They lay out their workout clothes the night before. They schedule their workouts at the same time every day. They start with just 10 minutes, no matter what. They don't ask themselves if they feel like it. They just start. Over 3 months, they work out consistently 80+ times. Same goal. Completely different outcomes. The only difference, one person had a system. Now you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually build a system? Where do I even start? And this is where BrainDecoded gets practical, because theory without application is just entertainment. The first thing you need to understand is that systems don't have to be complicated. In fact, the simpler your system, the more likely you are to stick to it. Your brain loves simplicity. Complexity is the enemy of consistency. If your system requires perfect conditions, perfect energy, or perfect circumstances, it's going to break the moment life gets messy, and life always gets messy. The secret is something psychologists call habit stacking. Instead of trying to build a brand new habit from scratch, which requires massive willpower and usually fails within 2 weeks, you attach a new behavior to something you already do automatically. You already make coffee every morning. You already brush your teeth. You already sit down at your desk. Those existing behaviors are anchors, and you can attach new habits to those anchors, like links in a chain. Want to start reading more? After you pour your morning coffee, open a book for 10 minutes, not an hour, just 10 minutes. Want to start journaling? After you sit down at your desk, write 3 sentences, not 3 pages, just 3 sentences. Want to start meditating? After you brush your teeth at night, sit quietly for 5 minutes. These tiny actions seem almost embarrassingly small. But here's what's wild. Small actions repeated consistently create massive results. That's not motivation talking. That's mathematics. There's another piece of this puzzle that almost nobody talks about, and it might be the most important thing I share with you today. Your environment is either your biggest enemy or your most powerful ally. Most people try to change their behavior without changing their environment, and then wonder why nothing sticks. But here's the reality. Your surroundings are constantly sending signals to your brain. Signals that trigger habits, cravings, emotions, and decisions without you even realizing it. If your phone is on your desk, you will check it. If junk food is in your kitchen, you will eat it. If your gym bag is buried in your closet, you probably won't go. But flip it around. If your book is on your pillow, you'll read before bed. If your gym bag is sitting right next to your front door, you're far more likely to grab it on your way out. If your phone is in another room during work hours, your focus automatically improves. You didn't change your willpower. You changed your environment. And your behavior followed. This is what psychologists call choice architecture. The way your environment is designed determines which choices are easy and which choices are hard. High performers don't rely on willpower to resist temptation. They design their environment so temptation barely shows up in the first place. They make the right choice, the easy choice, and they make the wrong choice inconvenient enough that it rarely happens. Think about that for a second. You're not weaker than the people succeeding around you. You're just living in an environment that wasn't designed for where you want to go. Now let's talk about something that tends to make people uncomfortable: identity. Because here's a truth that cuts deep. Most people fail at building systems not because the system is wrong, but because they never changed how they see themselves. They try to act differently without believing differently, and that never works long term. There's a massive difference between saying, "I'm trying to work out more," and saying, "I'm someone who works out." There's a massive difference between "I'm trying to eat better" and "I'm a person who makes healthy choices." The words sound similar, but the psychology behind them is completely different. One is a behavior you're attempting. The other is an identity you're living. When your system becomes part of who you are, not just what you do, consistency stops being a struggle and starts being automatic. This is exactly what BrainDecoded is about. It's not about hacking your productivity for one good week. It's about understanding how your mind works deeply enough that you become someone who simply doesn't go back to the old patterns. So how do you shift your identity? You start with small wins. Every time you follow through on your system, even in a tiny way, your brain updates its image of who you are. You worked out for 10 minutes when you didn't feel like it. Your brain logs that as evidence that you're someone who works out. You wrote 3 sentences when you felt like doing nothing. Your brain logs that as evidence that you're a writer. These small wins stack up into a completely new self. And once your identity shifts, maintaining the system feels natural because you're not fighting yourself anymore. You're just being yourself. Here's something else I want you to really sit with. Progress is almost always invisible before it's obvious. People give up on their systems too early because they don't see results fast enough. They work on something for 2 weeks, see no dramatic change, and convince themselves it isn't working. But that's not how growth works. Growth is happening underneath the surface, long before you can see it on the outside. Think about a bamboo tree. For the first 5 years after you plant it, you see almost nothing above the ground, just a tiny shoot. There! But underground, the roots are spreading wide and deep, building a foundation strong enough to support explosive growth. Then, in year 5, the bamboo can grow up to 90 feet in just 6 weeks. 90 feet. In 6 weeks, was it not growing for 5 years? Of course it was. It was just doing the invisible work first. Your systems work the same way. The habits you're building right now, the reading, the journaling, the workouts, the focused work, they're building roots, and one day, the results will seem to come out of nowhere. People will call you lucky. They'll call you talented. They'll wonder what your secret is, and you'll know the real answer. You just trusted the system long enough to let it work. Now, I want to address the people watching this who have tried systems before and feel like it still didn't work. Maybe you've read Atomic Habits. Maybe you've tried habit trackers, morning routines, productivity apps, and maybe you still fell off. If that's you, I want you to hear this clearly. Falling off doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. Every single person who has ever built a meaningful system has broken it at some point. The difference between people who ultimately succeed and people who give up isn't perfection. It's the speed of recovery. The most dangerous moment isn't when you miss a day. It's a story you tell yourself after you miss a day. If you tell yourself, I knew I couldn't do it. I always quit. I'm not disciplined enough. That story becomes your identity, and you stop trying. But if you tell yourself, I missed a day, that happens. I'm back on track tomorrow. You've protected the system. You've protected your identity. And one missed day stays as one missed day instead of turning into one missed month. Never miss twice. That's the rule. One missed day is an accident. 2 missed days is the beginning of a new habit. A bad one. As we come toward the end of this video, I want to leave you with one final thought that ties all of this together. The version of you that you dream about. The disciplined one. The focused one. The one who follows through. That person isn't waiting to appear when you finally feel motivated enough. That person is built one small, consistent, system-driven action at a time. Starting today. Starting now. Not on Monday. Not after the holidays. Not when things calm down. Now, you don't need more inspiration. You don't need a bigger why. You don't need to wait until you feel ready, because that feeling is never coming. What you need is a simple system, an environment that supports it, and the identity of someone who doesn't quit. That's it. That's the whole game. BrainDecoded exists because too many smart, capable people are stuck, not because they're lazy, but because nobody ever gave them the real blueprint for how their mind works. So if this video opened something up for you, if something shifted while you were watching, then do me a favor right now. Drop a comment below and tell me one system you're going to start this week. Just one. I read every single comment, and I want to know what you're building. And if you know someone who keeps saying they're not motivated, who keeps waiting for the right feeling before they start, share this video with them. It might be exactly what they need to hear today. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need more motivated people. It needs more people with better systems. I'll see you in the next one.